Hello, welcome to the Circular Diagram add-on for Concrete5 CMS. What this add-on is essentially a Jquery data display chart sort of deal, or diagram. What it is, it's kind of like a combination of a pie diagram or a pie graph and a bar graph sort of wrapped into one. Some of the features here that it's got built-in jQuery animation with the mouse over hover effect there, which that's called jQuery Easing, and it shows when you mouse over, it shows a value. It shows the value there in the item that relates to it, and by default, it shows the title of the diagram. And for now, say you enter 75% for an item, it will draw it. How it works is it simply draws 75% of the way around, and it goes clockwise. So now in this case, I have this diagram configured so it shows them all starting at the same point, which you can do. Or now on this one down here, it shows them starting at random points, which I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. And now another feature this has built in is that it's got this modal type box that shows a quick little note here about it. So say, for family, 29% enjoy this. You can customize what that says there. And you can customize these colors too, as you can see, and I'll show you that again in just a moment. But first, real quick here, let me show you what it does here in Internet Explorer. There's something you need to know. For the animation, as you can see here, it animates up, but it does not animate back down, and that's a problem with the jQuery Easing animation. That's for some reason Internet Explorer. Now I have version 9 here. It does not animate back down, but as you can see, the hover effect, it does show the value, and it does do the modal effect just fine. So that works fine there, the way it should. Let me get back to this here. So again, that's what it is in a nutshell. So it could be used for perhaps approval ratings, or some other type percent value that you want to display in a really interesting type way, very unusual, and also it works really well on an iPad. It works very well on an iPad. You can display up to 10 of these at a time. You can add more than one diagram per page if you want. So let me show you how it works. Now here I'm using the latest version of Concrete5, 5.5.1 here. So we'll add a block, go to circular diagram, and this, we'll just call it movies here again. And I think we'll leave the colors alone. These are the default colors that are installed with it by default. And because I don't really know how big I'm going to go, well, I think I'll leave these values alone, the diagram height and width. Now, again, these start at all the points will start at 180. All the rings or arcs will start at this point, the same point, which is a range, and then the radius will be at the center. So I mean, if you wanted to display at the absolute center of where the diagram is going to be displayed, just simply have this value be exactly half of what you enter up here. And then, so now here we'll add our actual items, and so I guess we'll go with action as the first one, and then you can just simply use the slider here to pick your value, and it goes up to 100%. We'll just go 58 there. We'll enter a caption, and then maybe perhaps for the second one here, drama, we'll say. So it'll be pretty identical to the one on the other page I just showed. We'll go with a small value here, 8%. Don't want this. And for horror, we'll go 86%. I'll tell you what, let's go 100%, but we'll leave that blank. We will not enter a caption for that, for the additional details there. Now let's go with a family. Just some, maybe perhaps around 50%. And now, as you can see here, you can enter up to 10 at a time. But for now, we'll just go ahead and enter. We'll just go with 4. So now, as you can see here, it's pretty big. It creates a pretty big area. Again, that's because it's 800 pixels by 800 pixels high for the area that's reserved on the page for the diagram. Um, and now, because we're not ready to actually publish that yet, we'll go ahead and modify that down. So we want to shrink it down to say 600. You know, make a little more room on the page. Let's say make it 300. Now, let's say we don't want all of them to start at the same point, so let's maybe have that be from 180 to perhaps, let's say, 270. Change that, and now, as you can see, now it goes a little nuts here in the edit mode here. It's because it's actually calling it in twice for whatever reason. But we can publish it here. Now, as you can see, it starts at different points, kind of random, starting between 180 and 270. And this one's 50%, so it goes 50% of the way around. And this one goes only 8%. This one goes 100%. Now you'll notice we left out that little caption for this. So same thing for the family. So those will not show that icon there if you leave that blank. But because we did for this, it will do that on this. And the style by default is going to look like this, and usually it sort of matches your theme. So you may have to do some additional styling to get it to kind of match your site if you want to. But by default, it's going to look like this. Now this area up here, just so you know, goes all the way across the area that it's in. Except for this area here. Right now it's set to 600 pixels, so it's approximately going to be like that. So you may just have to do a little bit of adjustments to it. It's kind of a best guess sort of deal, but at least you can make it so it doesn't take up too much room on your page or anything. So just so you know, that's how that works, and that's essentially it in a nutshell.